Good morning, and I have a message today of love, life, and light. And I'm going to frame it through a vast journey that's taken place through time and space. So I have time on one axis and space on the other axis. And supposedly at some point, at the beginning, let's say when time was zero and space was zero, all there was light. And if we look at this light supposedly has a finite speed, and by virtue of that finiteness, there's four things that happen. So there's a past, there's a present, there's a future, and there's a sense of separation between different entities. And these are embodied, these are characteristics of light. So there's a codification in light that creates these possibilities. And if we look at the essence of this, we see that the past is everything that exists, so it's a sense of presence. The present is a sense of power because there's different energies working themselves out. We have the future striving towards some kind of aim or implicit knowledge. And we have a harmony that's created between these different centers of separation. Now, if we look at as we advance further from this time zero and space zero, and here, if we take the extent of the universe, the breadth of the universe, the supposed breadth, it's on the order of 10 to the 27 meters, and similarly, time is on the order of supposedly 15 billion years from the origin to now. And if we take time 10 to the minus 10 seconds, so some infinitesimal amount after the supposed Big Bang, then we have the creation of fundamental particles. But let's look at that. So the particles themselves, we know as per the standard model, are divided into four categories. And we can rearrange these categories so that we have basically, if we use this same schemata, we have quarks that exist, that make up all protons and neutrons, that make up the nucleus, so protons themselves describe the atomic number, which creates the behavior, if you will, of any kind of atom in the universe. So there's a sense of knowledge that is embodied by quarks. Similarly, leptons embody the sense of power. Bosons, which are the attractors between all the fundamental particles, the sense of harmony, and the Higgs boson, giving mass to fundamental particles, provides presence. So we see a similar kind of codification that had existed in light, now making itself apparent in fundamental particles. Now, if we go up another notch in complexity, so going further in space and at some further point in time, then we see the emergence of atoms, and supposedly this began somewhere on the order of 10 to the 5 to 10 to the 9 years with the creation of stars that act as furnaces to create all the atoms that exist in the universe. And if you look at the way a categorization of the atoms according to the probability clouds that exist around the nucleus, and we can see the same kind of essence existing of presence, power, knowledge, and harmony. So power is specified by those atoms that are in the S shell categorization, such as hydrogen and helium. You have knowledge, which is in the P shell categorization, so elements like carbon and silicon. You have large collectivities, experimental collectivities that exist in the F shell orbitals. So that categorizes, or the essence of that is harmony. And similarly, you have this incredible category of elements in the D shell, which are the workhorse elements that have created all the structures that we see around us. So elements like iron and zinc and lead, so the workhorse elements. And so we see the same kind of codification that existed in light now making itself apparent in the classification of atoms as well. But if we go up further, and in terms of the space categorizations here, so this was 10 to the minus 34 meters. This is roughly at the quantum level. And then we have 10 to the minus 11 meters at the atomic level. And if you go to 10 to the minus 6 meters, so that's at the cellular level, we see that essential codification in light has expressed itself also in a fourfold scheme. And here, if we think about presence, power, knowledge, and harmony, then we have nucleic acids that are a key molecular plan that exists in cells that are basically vehicles of knowledge. We have lipids that create compartmentalization within cells. That's another key molecular plan that captures the essence of harmony. We have polysaccharides that are energy sources within cells, which is a third key molecular plan. And then we have proteins, which are the essential workhorses in any living cell. So we see that the same codification exists. Now, if we just, and this is on the order of 13.8, 10 to the 9 years. This is when supposedly these living cells emerged. And as you look at this arrangement here, you see basically that there's a fundamental mantra, if you will, or a rule of thumb, and that is basically that there's this possibility that exists in this codification of light, but in order to bring out sustainable entities that can build on themselves, you have this act of love that basically unifies the possibilities in life through codification in light. So you have this triple play of love, life, light that has organized much of the world that we exist in today. And the big question going forward is, to what extent are we as a species going to be able to also organize our complex plays that continue to be played out based on this essential universal message of love, building life based on codification in light.